What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of TNC Reacts. Today is Wednesday Wonders, and today we're going to be talking about how aging will change your perspective. Now, what I mean by that is you start to look at things differently as you grow older. A lot of people haven't come to the understanding of that. Whether it's from finances, how you view people just in general. And one of the main things I was thinking about was violence and neighborhood, community, things of those nature. You know, thinking back being a teenager and how I used to view violence is completely different from how I view it now. You know, when you're younger, you're thinking about being in the moment, and you'll hear somebody got shot or something like that, and you're just like, oh, well, you know, this happens, part of the game, do. But when you get older, you start thinking, man, another life gone. And then you look at the person that took the life and you're like, what was it really over? That person lost their life too. That's why you hear people say 2 people lost their lives that day, because one has to spend the rest of their lives in prison while the other one just isn't living on this planet anymore. So you have to take time to really assess what goes on around you, because I mean, you know, I can't understand how the youth functions today, you know, as far as when we speak about how they interact with one another. You know, I've never seen so many preteen teenagers that are picking up weapons so early. You know, we were learning to do this first. So it's like, how did they escalate from that? Like, they skipped that. I'm like, where did they even get the money to afford the weapons? You know what I'm saying? It's not like they really out here hustling, because I know most of them ain't, you know what I mean? It's just, it just blows my mind at how these kids nowadays can escalate to that without having an understanding of what they're doing. You know, when you think back, we give excuses to the kids nowadays. Like, we act like they can't even boil water and they're like 16 years old. Whereas when we were younger, we were cooking meals during the summertime, being left at the house by ourselves. Our parents actually trusted us not to burn the house down. Nowadays, you can't trust kids with nothing. You know, hey, don't you move from that spot. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because everybody's gotten so busy that they haven't had the chance to sit down and educate their own children. And they've allowed other things to educate their kids, so that's why their kids lack. And that's why violence nowadays is so different. You'll see people go to using a weapon, pum, because, you know, I got to watch what I say because of YouTube, but go towards the pum because they think that's the ultimate thing, and not realizing that once they go that mark, that's it. You're going to go to a place, jail, prison, and you will not get out. You might spend the rest of your life in there, or you may spend 30, 40 years in there, and all the experiences that you're supposed to have from teenagers to young adult to all of that is all gone. So by the time you do get out, you still have the mind of a child in certain regards, because, oh, I don't know about this. Oh, they do this now. Oh, wait, what's this? The world keeps passing, even though you're in jail. And I'm going to be honest, you go to jail, you become a leech to your family. I've said this before on this channel. I'm like, people don't understand, when you go to jail, you're sucking the life out of your family members, because you're hoping that they put money on your books and stuff. They could have been putting that money towards bettering themselves, or just doing it, using it for whatever they wanted to do. But instead, they got to give it to you because you're useless now. And sorry to say it like that, but you become a leech to your family because they're giving it to you so you can survive. But at the end of the day, they're being stunted in their growth as well. So you've essentially ruined not just your life, but the family members around you for whoever's trying to give you anything and help you out. That's what I mean by aging changes your viewpoints and your perspective. You know, because we spend so much time thinking of self and being selfish that we don't realize what we do to the other people around us until we get older and realize, man, I really didn't help out at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been really doing nothing but being a taker. And you know, like I said before, just thinking about the violence aspect and how these kids are willing to throw their lives away over the smallest minute thing that really you could really think it through and be like, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? And I think it's because they don't have the comprehension skills that we did just 15 years ago, or even longer than that. And that may be the reason why I think kids need to get back to reading, you know, actually writing, using their hands to write, so they can start honing those motor skills to start opening their mind up to different things. That way they can be aware of and play chess. You know, you do a sport that's not always physical contact, but you got to use your brain to work with it. And I think that'll help these kids start thinking ahead and realizing that, hey, certain decisions have consequences, and those consequences can cost me the rest of my life. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments section, and be on the lookout for more videos. All right, everybody? Peace.